I define 5 levels of purpose, and there are 5 P's. And I find that 90% of the world is generally in the first P. And that P is performing. We are very busy performing, we have very active lives, and we are always doing something, and we're always chasing something, hoping to conclude the day, make ends meet. Those are the kind of phrases we use. And as we do that, we are very busy being busy. That's where a lot of people spend a lot of their time. Now, you might find as we go along that you spend your time in more than one P. But I'd like you to reflect back. Where did the majority of this go? The second purpose with which people jump out of the bed is the purpose of proving. You have something to prove. You have sales to get. You have a war to fight. You have a target to meet. A report to write. Or you just have to prove that you're better today than you were yesterday. You can excel and self-motivate yourself, drive yourself to greater stuff. Very purposeful life. Proving constantly. Great. At a third level, you get passionate. Passion drives leaders because they exuberate that passion, and the entire team gets energized. Passion is what you would be driven by if you were not getting anything for it. No return on effort, but you would still put that in. Why? Because it makes your heart happy. Take Gandhi for instance. He was a lawyer, studied in the UK and working in South Africa. By Indian standards, he was every mother's pet. But he had something else that made his heart happy, and that was fighting injustice. And that's what drove him and continued to drive him. But like every great leader, or everybody for that matter who's driven by purpose, there is a fourth stage at which that yoga really kicks in. And the yoga is the yoga of communion, of joining of your work and you. Karmayoga. And this stage is pondering. The fourth stage is called pondering. Now you might wonder, this seems to be a lull in something that was climbing up from performing to proving to passion. Yes, it is. It is not just a lull, it's a chasm in fact. Because it is at this stage that a lot of people wonder, is that what I want to do? Because being passionate, you are successful. You have got what you want. You have set up that company, you have built that network, you have had that many records going out in the market. Take Michael Jackson for instance. And then you wonder, now what? And that could possibly, because you are in this flow of experimenting with stuff and getting it right, experiment with stuff that doesn't serve you. A lot of young boys and girls who make it to the IIT, I'm an alumnus from there, take to substance abuse because they have got what they wanted. That is success. They are in the IIT. So let me try this. Somebody who's very accomplished in business says, let me try some financial transactions a little differently. And the next thing you know is he's jumped to suicide. Pondering can also change when you connect with your work. And you do what Ashoka did. Ashoka the Great. Or let's get back to Gandhi. Where Ashoka saw, I have become the king of this part of the land, but I have sacrificed so many of my men, there is so much of manslaughter. Is this what it's about? And that pondering turned him to level 5, Pondering over injustice turned Gandhi to level 5, which is prosperity. It is making a contribution to everything. As the Buddha said, the supreme purpose of being in this human life is to serve all sentient beings. Prosperity of everybody. And Ashoka took Buddhism all over the world, in a sense. Gandhi, we know why we call him the Mahatma, the Mahatma, the great soul. Not because he was a lawyer, but because he fueled his purpose with a contribution to everybody. He became the Karmayogi who would work for everyone. And that's the first thing, to produce something. You produce a free nation to begin with. You produce equality. You produce greatness.